Your grandfather bought a house, raised 4 kids, and retired with a pension. One job, one income, no side hustle. You have a degree he didn't need, work longer hours than he ever did, and you're still calculating whether you can afford groceries and rent in the same month. This isn't a personal failure, it's structural, and the gap is widening. Here's the uncomfortable truth they don't teach in economics class. Wages and productivity broke up in the 1970s. For decades before that, they moved together. Workers got more efficient, companies made more money, and paychecks reflected that. Then something changed. Productivity kept climbing, profits kept climbing, but wages, they flatlined. And that gap, that growing distance between what workers produce and what they're paid, that's where your missing income went. This isn't about working harder. You're already working hard enough. This is about a system that decoupled effort from reward and hoped you wouldn't notice. Let's rewind. Post-World War II, America is the only major economy that didn't get bombed into rubble. Factories are humming, unions are strong, corporate tax rates are high, over 70% on top earners. A factory worker could buy a house, a single income supported a family. College was affordable, pensions were standard. That era feels like fantasy now, but it was real. And here's the part that matters. It wasn't natural, it was built. Strong labor unions negotiated higher wages. Government policies encouraged wage growth. The social contract was simple. Companies profit, workers share in that profit. Everyone moves up together. Then came the 70s, stagflation, oil shocks, recessions, and the response to that crisis rewired everything. Ronald Reagan fires 11,000 air traffic controllers in 1981. It's not just about aviation, it's a message. Unions are no longer untouchable. Corporate America takes notes. Deregulation becomes doctrine. Tax rates on the wealthy drop from 70% to 28%. The idea is simple. Let the rich keep more money and it'll trickle down to everyone else. Create wealth at the top and it flows to the bottom. Except it didn't trickle, it pooled. CEO pay in 1980 was 30 times the average worker. By 2020, it's 350 times. That's not gradual, that's exponential. And it's not because CEOs suddenly became 10 times better at their jobs. The rules changed. Stock options, bonuses tied to share prices, a system that rewards extraction over investment. Meanwhile, real wages adjusted for inflation, barely moved. You're working just as hard, you're producing more value, but the rewards are going somewhere else. Now let's talk about the expense nobody can escape: housing. In 1970, the median home cost about twice the median household income. You could realistically save up, buy a house, and build equity. By 2020, that ratio is 5 to 1. In some cities, it's 10 to 1. This isn't just price increases, it's a fundamental shift in what housing represents. It stopped being shelter and became an investment vehicle, a commodity. Institutional investors buy up single-family homes. Foreign capital parks money in real estate. Zoning laws restrict new construction, choking supply. And wages? They're not keeping pace, not even close. So you're stuck renting, and rent isn't just rising with inflation, it's rising faster, because landlords know you have no choice. You need a place to live. The market isn't competitive, it's captive. Your paycheck gets eaten by rent before you can even think about saving, and every dollar that goes to rent is a dollar that doesn't build equity. You're paying someone else's mortgage while yours becomes a fantasy. Here's where it gets darkest. They told you education was the answer. Get a degree, get a good job, get ahead. So you did. and you're drowning in debt. In 1980, the average cost of college tuition was about 13% of median household income. Today, it's over 40%. And wages for college graduates? They've barely budged when adjusted for inflation. You were sold a product that tripled in price and halved in value. A bachelor's degree used to be a golden ticket. Now it's the minimum requirement just to be considered. The credential inflated while the reward deflated. And here's the cruelest part. Student loans are nearly impossible to discharge. Not in bankruptcy, not in hardship. You signed at 18, and that debt follows you for decades. It delays homeownership. It delays starting a family. It delays everything. Meanwhile, the universities got richer. Administrative bloat exploded. Luxury dorms, climbing walls, branding. They sold you a lifestyle, not an education. And you're still paying for it. When full-time jobs with benefits started disappearing, they rebranded it. The gig economy, be your own boss, flexibility, freedom. What they meant was no benefits, no stability, no bargaining power. You're not an employee anymore. You're an independent contractor, which sounds empowering until you realize it means the company has zero obligation to you. No health insurance, no paid time off, no unemployment protection. You absorb all the risk while they keep all the leverage. And the pay? It's designed to look good on the surface. $25 an hour driving for a rideshare app sounds decent until you factor in gas, car maintenance, insurance, taxes. Suddenly, you're making $12 an hour and your car is depreciating in real time. But here's the genius of it. They've convinced you it's freedom. You're hustling, you're entrepreneurial, you've got 3 gigs and a side project. You're not precarious, you're diverse. Except you're exhausted, and you're one bad month from catastrophe, and there's no union to negotiate on your behalf because you're not technically an employee. We talk about inflation like it's uniform, a flat 2 or 3% across everything, but that's a lie of averages. The things you need to survive, housing, healthcare, education, those have inflated at 3 to 5 times the official rate. Meanwhile, the things you don't need, TVs, electronics, cheap goods from overseas, those got cheaper. So the official inflation number looks manageable, but your lived experience says otherwise, because you can't eat a flat-screen TV. You can't live in a smartphone. Healthcare costs have increased over 500% since 1980. College tuition over 700%. Housing in major cities over 300%. Your wages up about 30% after inflation. You're not imagining the squeeze. The math is right there. The essentials are outpacing income at a rate that makes upward mobility borderline impossible for most people. And when you point this out, they tell you to budget better, make coffee at home, skip the avocado toast, as if $12 a month in lattes is the reason you can't afford a down payment. Here's where it gets insidious. While your salary stagnates, asset prices soar. Stocks, real estate, even art and collectibles. If you own assets, you're getting richer on paper without working. If you only sell your labor, you're treading water. And the gap between those two groups now is a chasm. This is the wealth effect. When the Federal Reserve cuts interest rates and floods the system with cheap money, it doesn't go to workers, it goes to investors. People who already have capital buy more assets, prices rise, their net worth climbs. You get a 2% raise that doesn't cover rent. You're told the economy is booming, the stock market hits record highs, unemployment is low, everything looks great in the data. But the data measures the wrong things. It measures whether people have jobs, not whether those jobs pay enough to live. It measures asset prices, not accessibility. The economy is doing great for people who own it. For everyone else, it's a treadmill that keeps speeding up. And it's about to get worse. Automation and AI aren't coming, they're here, and they're not eliminating jobs uniformly. They're targeting middle-skilled work, the jobs that used to be the backbone of the middle class. Manufacturing? Automated. Clerical work? Automated. Basic accounting? Automated. Even creative fields aren't safe. AI can write code, design graphics, draft legal documents. The jobs left behind cluster at two extremes: high-skill, high-pay jobs that require advanced degrees and specialization, and low-skill, low-pay jobs that require physical presence, service work, caregiving, manual labor. The middle is hollowing out, and wages at the bottom aren't rising to compensate because there's no leverage. If you don't like your pay, there are 10 people behind you who need the job more. This isn't speculation, it's already happening. The labor market is bifurcating in real time. And if your salary feels stuck, it's because the economy no longer needs to compete for your labor the way it used to. So let's name what this is. The deal is off. For decades, the implicit agreement was work hard, play by the rules, and you'll be okay. You'll do better than your parents. Your kids will do better than you. Progress was the default. That's not true anymore. For the first time in generations, young people are economically worse off than their parents. Not because they're lazy, not because they're entitled, because the system fundamentally changed and nobody adjusted the expectations. Companies don't owe you a pension. The government won't guarantee your retirement. The market won't reward your productivity. You're on your own in a game where the deck is stacked. And the worst part? They blame you for struggling. Financial literacy, personal responsibility, side hustles, as if the problem is your budget and not the fact that wages haven't kept up with the cost of living in half a century. So why can't salaries keep up anymore? Because the economy was redesigned to prioritize capital over labor. Because wealth compounds and wages don't. Because every system that used to protect workers got gutted in the name of efficiency and profit. This isn't fixable with a better resume or a second job. It's structural. And until the incentives change, the gap will keep widening. You're not failing. The math is just against you, and pretending otherwise won't make the rent cheaper.